Well, hello, hello. I see we have somebody waiting for us. I apologize for our late arrival. Jillian and I were chatting backstage, and of course, it's always all my fault. I mean, I'm the one that's always yapping away. And oh my goodness, we have. Oh, well, I'm going to call, I hate to call out a name because we're recording. So I wanted to just give us some housekeeping.
You just say the LinkedIn guru.
Okay, LinkedIn guru. So hello there. We love you, our friend. And so I just want to share a couple of housekeeping things before we get rocking and rolling. We are recording this, so if you don't wish to, be recorded, we will not call out people by first and last names. But if you come up and you're talking, then we are recording, and we just want to let you know we will be putting a link to the recording here for you if you wish to listen again, or for people who are not able to make it but will be joining and listening on the replay. If you are new, sometimes we have new people to LinkedIn audio. When you come up on stage, please unmute yourself. The mute is on the bottom right-hand corner. And when you are on stage, and we'd love to have you join us, please mute yourself when you are not speaking, because we all have all this noise going on in the background. I have loud dogs. I don't know. What do you have going on, Jillian?
I'm on the road today, so I'm coming in today from Sioux Falls, North Dakota. So I am crisscrossing the country, and it's kind of fun to be here. And, and courtesy of your public library, for anybody who's ever traveling across the country, you need internet, you go to your public library. It's great.
Yeah, I love that. Our libraries are great around here too. I was on the board of a local women's networking group for several years. I was the director, which is like the president of that organization, for about 3 years. And we used to have our board meetings at the local library, and they were always so generous to us. And I'm a big fan of books, and Jillian, I know you're a fan of books and libraries in general. So, okay, maybe she's doing something. So I'm all right. So let us jump into our conversation. We have a bunch of people here with us, and my screen just sort of looked like I went offline. So hopefully I did not. I had some problems logging in today. So hopefully we will be all good. So Jillian, so this is kind of your topic here that you picked. We kind of alternate, and it's graphics, gifs, and emojis. And you post more graphics, I think, than I do. I would say my graphics are limited to when I'm doing a slider, and even then, I am not. Not as prolific with them, certainly, as you are. So why don't you kick us off and talk a little bit about why graphics? I mean, if we're talking about it on LinkedIn, so what do you think is the best time and way maybe to use a graphic and just go on from there? Jillian, are you there? Oh, can everybody hear me? Okay, you can hear me. Okay, so Jillian has momentarily, I assume, lost the ability to unmute. Jillian, if you hear me, you are muted. So come back and jump in whenever you get a chance. So, Jillian, are you back?
Yeah, I'm showing that I'm okay. Can anybody hear me?
We hear you now.
Okay,
good.
good.
Okay,
Good.
okay. Then
Good.
go ahead, girlfriend.
Okay. So, what I wanted to say was the wonderful thing about LinkedIn is that based upon your own learning style and the learning styles of other people, we have so many different ways that we can communicate on LinkedIn. Everything from people that just like to write, we have text posts, we have graphic posts, you can use GIFs. I like to call them GIFs so we can get in that argument. We might have to have the LinkedIn guru come up on the stage and take that one with me. But you can use graphics, you can use GIFs, you can use, just to clarify the word GIF and GIF, I'm not going to get into the history of it, but when we say GIFs, they're mini videos without the sound. And so for anybody who ever uses Canva and they're like, okay, should I save this as an MP4 or should I save this as an MP4 as a video or a GIF, which is a graphic interface file, I believe is the exact thing. GIFs can't have sound. So if you ever have something in Canva, if it's got music or something like that, you're going to have to do a video. But GIFs are actually a better format for posting on LinkedIn because you can put them in comments. And that's something that our LinkedIn guru loves to do. And it's just a way of allowing you to express your identity and your uniqueness. And sometimes a picture truly is worth 1,000 words. And a lot of us process graphics much quicker. We retain the information. It's eye candy. We see it. It jumps out at us. So that's why I like to use GIFs. And when you think about using GIFs on LinkedIn, which is my favorite kind of graphic is GIFs, you can use them in post. You can use them in a comment. You can use them in your newsletters. And lots of us like to use them in newsletters. And you can even use it for the header, which is that banner image inside your newsletter. And I like to do that because I got this tip from Kevin D. Turner that if you have a header and it's a GIF on your newsletter, and then you make that a featured item, it moves in your featured section. So if somebody comes to your LinkedIn profile and they see something moving, they're just more likely to click and read that. So if you want an example, just go to my profile. You'll see the number one item I have in my featured section is a GIF inside my newsletter, and it's the header. So, and of course, emojis are just wonderful. We all, so many of us love using emojis. I think there was one person who couldn't stand them. That was probably Mick Adam, but I think we finally won him over. So anyways, that's what I have to say, kicking off talking about graphics on LinkedIn. Just appeals to lots of different learning styles.
Well, I love that. And you just educated me because I had no idea. I never knew that you could create GIFs on Canva. And it's kind of a foreign thing to me. I really don't know anything. I'm learning right now as you're speaking because that is one place that I have not dabbled and I'm going to have to check it out. And I was always wondering how you had that header on your newsletter to, dance around like that. And in our many conversations, I just never thought to ask you. So I love that. And yes, we know the LinkedIn guru is the king of the GIFs. So
and another tip about Canva is that Canva actually allows you to drop a GIF into your design. So if you were just making a post, and you wanted to make a graphic post for LinkedIn, you can just actually use their standard GIF. So say, for instance, I wanted to have Alice falling down the rabbit hole. I can go and search in their little GIF thing, find that graphic, put it in my design, and then I could add my own logo up in the corner. So you can customize and do some different things. So Canva, we could probably do a whole masterclass on how you can use for free the GIFs that are already in Canva so that you don't have to go out and reinvent the wheel. Use existing GIFs that are already out there.
Well, I absolutely love that. And if you can bear with me just for a couple of minutes, because we do have some time here, when you go into Canva, for me and probably others in the audience who are as ignorant about this as I am, where do you go to find these GIFs?
If you go into Canva and you go to the menu on the left side of your Canva workspace, you'll see applications. I think it's called apps. And if you go through there, just scroll down, you'll see GIF. I think it interfaces with Jiffy, maybe Tenor, Tenor. And Tenor is actually the one that you can use within LinkedIn if you're sending, and again, our LinkedIn guru likes to do this a lot. You can put a GIF right inside a LinkedIn DM. And that's, again, those are free, those are by Tenor, and you just search by topic. But that's how you do it in Canva. So I'll make it as a homework item for myself to make a little video about that and put it up there. Not today, but in the next little while.
Well, you should be able to have a little bit of time off. Not too much, just a little bit. So I thank you for that. And we just got a thumbs up from the audience. So I am going to have to definitely go and check that up. And, we do invite you to please come up on the stage and join us. I see some of our friends in the audience. And again, I hate to call people out on name just because we are recording. Even though we are here on LinkedIn, which is a public platform that we all love and use daily. So, I'd like to talk a little bit about emojis. Like, I love emojis. I use them all the time. I think that they used to be considered perhaps, a little bit too, dare I say, Facebooky for LinkedIn, and people, some people that I know sort of frowned on the idea for a business owner or someone who was more, professional rather than someone on the creative side to use emojis on their profile and in their posts, that it was not appropriate. But I think that has kind of shifted. I mean, do you remember it that way, Jillian?
I do. And I think a long time ago, they hated emojis. And I think people are they're getting used to them. And I think the very fact that emojis, even now, you can choose the color of the emojis. So if you're just like, I just use the standard yellow ones, but sometimes people will want to have an emoji that's closer to their own race, nationality, whatever. So it's kind of nice to know that those emojis have gone that far. And probably only caution with emojis, and there's always cautions with everything, folks. But I think one of the cautions with emojis is if you know somebody who is using a screen reader because they're blind, you want to maybe just always keep that in the back of your mind so that if you were to type something in a post, you might do one clapping emoji and not like 3 lines of them, because you have to think a screen reader is going to hear clap emoji, clap emoji, clap emoji, and how that could really be cumbersome to somebody at the other end. And especially now with our newsletters on LinkedIn, I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but we now have immersive text, which means that somebody could open your newsletter and click that button and it will read the newsletter to them. So again, the emojis, they get described. It's not just going to say clap, it's going to say clap emoji. So just something to think about.
Well, I'm very glad that you mentioned that. I am aware of the emojis being a problem for screen readers, because I know occasionally people will put 2 or 3 of them, in a row. That used to happen a lot with Clubhouse and Clubhouse titles, and that's, I think, when I first learned about it. That if you have a bunch of, if you have 5 emojis and someone is using a screen reader, that they're hearing all of that. And it's, I'm sure annoying and perhaps off-putting as well. So thank you so much to our friend G for joining us on the stage. We're so happy to see you with your lovely smile, and we'll be hearing your bubbly personality. So do you have a question or something that you just want to add to the conversation?
Hello, ladies. First of all, can you hear me okay?
We hear you just fine.
Fantastic. Me, audio, video, visual, everything personified, issue-oriented, if you will. So yes, first of all, hello to both of you. I think the world of you both, and I'm thrilled to be here. And Jillian, fabulous topic. Love that you're doing this. So here's my question, and it's specific to Gifs, GIFs, however we want to phrase it. My question is this: I have found lately, and I don't know if it's just me or again, going back to those technological challenges I experience on occasion, I've been finding with my mobile, and I have an iPhone 15 for some context. I just got it recently, so I didn't know if it was a settings thing, a phone issue, but I can't, it doesn't allow me to do GIFs on my phone anymore. So when I download something from, say, the Giphy site or what have you, and I get excited, I want to comment with a Giphy comment, I can't do it on my mobile. I believe I can still do it on my desktop. Am I missing something with that? Because I love expressing myself through those things, but somehow it's not as intuitive as I feel it used to be. And then someone told me at one point there was a policy change and LinkedIn no longer allows for that. So I'm confused. Can you clarify some of that or?
Yep, you're absolutely right, G. And I learned about it probably about a year ago, and I was horrified. And I believe that Android people can still do it. At least they could a year ago, and not iPhone users. So there's just some sort of thing with the operating system. And, we get that a lot with LinkedIn. It's like the default video on a iPhone is an MOV file. Those are not compatible with LinkedIn either. So sometimes your videos can appear completely black. You upload a video and LinkedIn can't see it. And I've raised a couple of help tickets with that. And the only workaround is you have to go make it an MP4, where if you caption it anyways, it becomes an MP4. So it's a moot point. But GIFs don't work on your phones. So that's really, really annoying. Now, they might work maybe if you're trying to use within LinkedIn, if you're doing a DM. So that might be a good test to see if you, if it's just an upload issue. So that might be a good test, G, to just see, can you do a GIF within LinkedIn? Is it just part of the upload process? But you're right. They don't work on iPhones. It's sad.
Well, thank you for clarifying, because of course I thought it was just me as per usual. But no, but I mean, to your comments and points, I mean, these are amazing tools that we have, and if we can use them, we absolutely should. So thank you. That was my question. I just wanted to come up and say hello, and thank you both again for doing this room. And I know you're sharing a lot of these insights, and that I'm glad you learned something too, that you can create those in Canva. So yeah, this is great stuff, ladies. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And thanks for the explanation. And you know what? I'm going to have to be getting maybe a little side extra help from you on this, Jillian, my dear friend. So Felipe, you answered my call and you came up and joined us on the stage. So do you have a question or just something you want to add to our conversation? Because, it's always so great to see you.
Well, it's always so great to see both of you. I when I see the two of you together, it's like magic. So I always love learning from you. You both have always taught me so much over the years. And I did two things. One, it was interesting, Anna, when you came back in, we could hear both of you, but you couldn't hear Jillian. So that was interesting how that happened. LinkedIn glitches never stop, do they? But with the GIFs, it's funny that you all mentioned that. I did not know. I thought it was just my phone acting up about the GIFs in the post, because you can still send them in the DMs. You're right about that. In the DMs, it gives you the option to send a GIF. So it's ironic that they let you do that in the DMs, but not in the post. And thank you for allowing me to be confident that I'm not going crazy. So, but other than that, I gotta say, for me, the emojis, I'm glad you brought up the screen readers, because that's a huge part. But I still find that the emojis are a good way if you want to highlight something that you want people to their eye to capture their attention with their eye on a certain phrase or a certain word. Those emojis, I think, are people can't help but see them. They may not like them, but I'm sorry, your eye gets drawn to them. And so I think that as long as it's not a sea of emojis, like I've always been no more than 3 is the max that I would have in a post. But I usually like to have just one or two, just to highlight certain areas where I want them to, if they do read the post, I hope they see this part. So I just wanted to share that, because I love that you're having this conversation. I think that the stigma is going away from them a little bit. But again, like anything, it's in moderation. If you overdo anything, it's going to be bad. So thank you for having this conversation, and thank you for always educating me.
We always love you being here. We always love you being here. And I actually use emojis as a code for my posts. And I think I learned this maybe from John Asperian, where what I do is at the beginning of my headline, I put an emoji. But if it's a video post, I put like a little clapper or the little movie camera. If it's if it's a text post, sometimes I'll put like the pen, the hand holding the pen, and then that just helps me find my posts. And I realize, oh, that's my text post. That was my video. It's just an easier thing for me. So again, you can just use these for so many different things. Sometimes people, I notice they put them in their PS. They put like a little happy face or a note emoji. I like to put the push pin emoji wherever I want people to go, oh, make sure you note that you've got to be here at, this is a different time this week or something like that. So you can use them to communicate really important information too. So I think they're awesome.
Yeah, I love that too. I'm glad that you mentioned the sort of post pin, because I use that too. It's actually something I learned from one of our LinkedIn influencers, and I don't want to shout a name because I can't remember who it was, but that had mentioned when you comment on your own post, which is now like an okay thing to do, to use that at the top, in your comments on your own posts, to draw people's attention to it. So let me be quiet because we have other people joining us on the stage. And first, I want to pass the mic to our dear friend, Jeff. So happy to see you. And I'm sure you just want to add to our conversation.
Well, I'm going to jump on the all things in moderation, including moderation bandwagon. I like what Felipe said. I try to use never more than 3 or 4 emojis. I think they are appropriate when they are in the right context, just like Jillian said. The one thing I did want to add is that Jillian mentioned Gifs and I am going to call them Gifs because the word is graphic, not Jillian. But Jillian, Jillian and I will agree to disagree on that, as always. You can also find GIFs not only in your newsletters, but you can actually do GIFs in your posts, any post that you want, which also, by the way, if you are, when you see that in your posts and when you see that in your activity, will show up as a motion, which will bring people's eye to your activity. That's a good thing. So it shows up there. If you look at my profile, for example, there are at least 2 out there that are in motion right now. And I've even changed, from a graphic standpoint, I've even changed my activity section to use a feature called Show First, which basically I've used the Show First to show images because I really almost never post a post without an image. And most of those posts are posts with a GIF as an example. And one final thing, I would like to add that you can also find GIFs for free on LinkedIn. All you have to do is go to the messaging section and tap on the GIF button that is a part of messaging. And when it comes up, you can search for anything that you want. So obviously, in my case, I sometimes search for the word Superman because of my brand. And you can then take any GIF that it comes up with there. And this is, again, only something that you can do on the desktop instead of the mobile. Sorry, Gigi. It's not just you. I shy away from using mobile because I can't use as many graphics as I can on a desktop. But if you type in something and search for a GIF in the message section, then you can actually right mouse click on the desktop on that GIF, and you can save that GIF to your hard drive or wherever you want to, the cloud drive or wherever, and then you can go back and use it again and again and again. And literally, graphically, I have become, I guess what I've heard people describe me as a creative left-brainer because I'm very left-brained, but I've also forced myself to use graphics on LinkedIn because I think they're more effective. And so I've got a library of about 4,000 GIFs and graphics and JPEGs, et cetera, that I can utilize whenever I need to on a comment or on a post. Oh, and one other thing that we haven't mentioned, and I shout out because we've already heard John's name. John Asperian taught me how to find something called Bitmojis. So that's another possible graphic that you can use as well, which are free and are easy for you to use anytime you want to on a comment or in your posts.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff. I'd just like to ask a question before you jump in, Jillian. And I have a kind of a beef right now with Bitmojis, and we will get with that later on in our discussion after other people on the stage have had a chance to speak. But Jeff, can you just tell me quickly, how do you insert a GIF or GIF into your post?
Well, when you start a post, you basically, you can either hit start a post and then click the media icon,
Okay.
or you can click media. When you start a post, click media first, and that will allow you to go out and find the media, and then that includes any graphic kind of file, but GIFs are included in those as well.
Oh, okay. So just like a video then, the same type of thing.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, Jillian.
Okay, so I love what Jeff just shared, and we'll forever. I'm going to challenge Jeff to put in. We have this GIF little Bugs Bunny Daffy Duck GIF that Jeff always pulls out, and I would ask Jeff to please add that into the comments today, because it's a great example of the argument that will never end, and I absolutely love it. And I just want to tell people that another place that people don't think about using emojis is on your LinkedIn profile. When you're writing your about section, your summary section, that's a wonderful place to place emojis. And know that emojis don't necessarily have to be happy faces. They could be bullets. They could, because LinkedIn's only going to let you do a dash, right? And there's a really great resource out on the interwebs, and it's called Emojipedia. And it's spelled EMOJI, emoji, and then pedia, PEDIA. And if you go there, you can search for whatever you're looking for. So you might say, oh, I want to find some bullets. You could type in bullet, and then it will show you all these cool bullets. And then it just says, if you want to use this, just click copy. And then so you just copy it, and then you go over to your LinkedIn about section, click there, paste it, and there you go. You got a really nice little bullet to make your about section a little bit easier to read. So think outside the box. It's not always about happy faces. It could be that you want to have a picture of a telephone, and then you have your telephone number. Maybe you want to have a picture of a globe and then your website. So, they can just be used for so many different things. And again, it's eye candy, folks, that get people to continue to look at stuff.
Well, I love that, and I do use them in my about section. Jeff, did you want to add something?
Just the fact that I wanted to tell Jillian that great minds think alike. I had already added that GIF that she talked about. Okay, and I even said it your way, GIF. Okay, in my comment, because my comment that Annette already responded to has the Bugs Bunny Daffy Duck GIF season, GIF season.
Well,
Love that.
Well, thank you so much. So we have a couple more people who joined us on the stage. Danny, you are the first one after Jeff to join us. So please, if you have a question or something that you would like to add to our conversation, please unmute yourself and join in.
Thank you, and thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for having this talk today. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I post about once or twice a week, and I consider myself an expert in the world of trade shows, specifically how to draw traffic to trade show booths. And I attend about 30 trade shows a year. So whenever I'm there, I try to look for something that is happening on the trade show floor that is drawing traffic to the booth, and I make a short video of it. And then I post that video and I comment. So I have found that I tend to add a lot more emojis to my post than what is being recommended here. But I think it's more a fact, not of how many emojis per post, but the proportion of emojis to the number of words or number of paragraphs you have. So, I'd be interested to hear what people think about that comment. So if you have 4 paragraphs, wouldn't like 8 would 8 emojis be too much? Does it actually serve as a turnoff? I I find, and the other comment I have is I think that emojis are extremely effective in your opening sentence that is the hook to your post. And it really catches people's eyes. Sometimes it makes a pun or is supportive of the hook to get people to read on. So I found a lot of success with that, and I've noticed that my posts that have emojis tend to get, and videos tend to get more. Uh, I'm trying to think. I'm thinking about Instagrams. When I'm thinking of likes and views. I guess it's called views in
Impressions.
impressions. Yeah, thank you. Those seem to do a lot better than a normal post that I would do that would without it. I mean, I'm really almost always using them now when I'm doing a post. I think it just creates a more well-rounded post, that says read me. So just wanted to mention that.
I think you have it, Danny. It's really about, is it relevant? Is it being used as an accent? And really, it's just about having too many in a row, recognizing that for a screen reader, that could be very difficult for somebody. So I think we just want to try to be inclusive to everybody. But I think that the longer your post, of course, the more you're going to have emojis, and that makes sense. And I'm even sitting here looking at this LinkedIn screen, and I can say that I noticed Jim Wolfe, he has his little cat in his headline. So we didn't even talk about putting emojis in your headline, which travels around with you on LinkedIn. And Annette has her little microphone. I'm sorry, it just looks more interesting to see Annette and Jim's headline as opposed to you and me, who are just text. So I think emojis just excite our brains. That's my feeling.
Well, Jillian, I agree with you, and I use them fairly plentifully in my posts and in my about section, etc. I just want to mention before I ask Jim, before I turn the microphone over to Jim, and thank you so much for bringing that up, Danny. I think that's an important thought, the idea of, how many emojis, like emojis per paragraphs and whatnot. And it gives us something for all of us to think about. So I just want to mention we are at our midway point. So for anyone who has joined us, we are recording this session, and we will be posting a link to the recording later today, or more likely tomorrow. So we just want to make everyone aware when you do come up on the stage. We are careful to try to not call you by other than your first name, although we do have mentioned some people first and last names. And so again, just want to make you aware that we are recording, and if you came in late, you will be able to catch the beginning, and if you have to leave early, you will be able to catch the end. So thank you so much again, Danny, for bringing that up. And Jim, thank you for joining us on the stage. Do you have something to add or something to ask?
Hello, everyone. How are you all? Right, okay, let's go. A couple of things. First thing, let's talk about emojis. Now, thanks for mentioning my emoji, my scared cat, which when I was doing I need to build a personal brand thing, when I was really into LinkedIn, I'm not so into it these days, I realised the power of the emoji, and I thought, you know what, I can use that. And I used that in conjunction with, the face with the sunglasses, because my brand is like the Doctor 5 Notes and the cat. Yeah, and they sort of play off each other. So I could use emojis and I could combine them in. And I would use them a lot, and I still use them a lot whenever I post. There's the cat comes in, maybe with a scared face or maybe laughing and stuff like that. So many doctors. And what I think is powerful about an emoji used correctly is the way it keeps attention. It can break text up. It can, I think LinkedIn's unique with other social media platforms because it is more text driven. If you compare it with the other platforms, it's definitely more text driven. So but I think that's where emojis can become very powerful, because too much text, unless it's in the right context, can really, really swamp people. So I think emojis play a very, very good part. They certainly help me, with the personal brand side of things. So that's the thing about emojis. Now, the second thing and this is why I really want to come, I want to sing the praises of my old good friend Jeff Young, who I haven't spoken to for ages, because Jeff he really is the master of GIF. I don't know, tomato, who knows? But he's really the master of that. And what I think he's so good at, he's almost known for it, isn't he? I'm sure you'll all agree with me. But he doesn't just use it in his posts, he uses it in comments. And something that always warms the cockles of my heart, whenever I do sort of go on and maybe I'll post on one of Jeff's posts, maybe I'll comment, and he comes back and he uses I did a little thing with him a while, and we did a scared cat gif, and he always brings it out. And I think, you know what, that's such a smart move, because what he's doing is actually, I don't know, he's bonding with me, isn't he? He's interacting, he's taking it beyond this is just a social media platform. He's making it very personal to me. And I think we can all learn a lot from Jeff and the way he uses his gifts. I really do think he's a master. So that's it, really. That's all we want to say.
Well, we certainly agree with you. We love Jeff too, and we both learn from him all the time. And I just want to send a shout out to people in the audience. Please do come up and join us. If you just like to come up and join the conversation, or if you have any kind of a question, this is really more Jillian's area than mine, but she will certainly be happy. I know her well, to share any knowledge that she has. And Jillian, I see you're unmiked, so go for it.
Well, first of all, I just have to say it's so lovely to see you, Jim. It's been a while, and I always love Jim. And he's just amazing. He's an amazing man, so talented. Love his music and everything about him. And I wanted to follow up on the comment that Jim made about how GIFs can basically boost your brand. And you can begin to have, like, for instance, we're just going to keep picking on you today, Jeff, but Jeff he identifies with Superman. Superman is his hero. He has Superman in his banner. He uses those colors. That's kind of his thing. And he has lots and lots of Superman GIFs that he uses. And so if we see something, we know immediately, oh, that's Jeff. He now owns it, even though he didn't actually create it. But think about this as a gold mine, everybody. You can actually, and I've seen a couple of people do this, you can actually create your own GIFs. One who's a complete master at this is Kevin D. Turner. He actually created a little GIF for me of the casino, the little slot machines in the casino. And because I'm from Las Vegas, he made a GIF for me that, like, you push the little hand dial of the one-armed bandit of the slot machine, and then it came up easy peasy lemons. He created that for me. So now the interesting thing is that you could literally take some of your videos, and Jeff has done this, where I believe I helped him, but I don't remember. And we created a namaste GIF, and you see Jeff saying namaste, which is, again, one of his things. And we turned that into a GIF for him. So think of this as you can use other people's GIFs, and a great place to go out and get GIFs is a website called Giphy.com, Giphy, and you can go in there and you can download GIFs on anything you can think of. It's got a search engine, and you see something and you're like, okay, this is great. You just download it and save it in a file, and you can use that over and over again and rename it whatever you want it to be. But with Giphy, with that same website, you can actually upload your own GIFs. And so, say, for instance, if Jeff wanted to, he could upload his namaste GIF that he's created, upload it to Giphy, and he might see the world take off and start using that all over the place. And so there's a way to build your brand out there. And I've seen a lot of people do it where they'll put their company logo on it. They make something kind of cool. So for Jim and his scared cat, this would be a wonderful thing where people would go, who is this guy in his square cat? Talk about building your brand awareness in a cool way. So just wanted to throw that thought out with you that you can use GIFs as a marketing advantage as well.
Well, I absolutely love that. And I am going to check out a bunch of these things later on today. I love Scary Cat. I was using it for a while in my post, but it didn't really work for kind of me and my brand. So I put Scary Cat aside. I wish they had Scary Dog though, since, dogs are part of my brand. So, I would love to turn our attention. Somebody brought up Bitmojis earlier, and I know, I love them. I use them all the time. I use them in a lot of thumbnails for programs I'm doing, or, I've used them on my LinkedIn banner, et cetera, et cetera. But not too long ago, Bitmoji has kind of shifted, and they say that I forget where I read this, they say that their effort is to make their Bitmojis more lifelike or human-like, rather than, I think you could say they were maybe more cartoony in the past. And I love them. I look great in cartoon. And now when I download the Bitmojis, I was chatting with Jillian about this. I look kind of scary. I have one that I use and makes me look like a Peanuts character. And so I'm just curious if, anyone else has noticed the change. I know when I pointed it out to you, Jillian, you noticed the difference. And now when you download Bitmojis, they come to be the new ones. The old ones that we've had, they stay the same. And so I'm a bit kind of put off by that, and I'm a bit annoyed at Bitmoji. So what say you, my friend?
Well, I didn't know what you were talking about. And I remember yesterday we were talking about it, in the DMs, and I was like, what changed? And I don't see it, but I don't know. Maybe I need to clean my glasses, but I didn't see much of a difference with mine, but I did see a difference with yours. So I think that's kind of interesting. I know for a while they had an alternative sort of Bitmoji character that you could make that looked a little bit different. So I don't know what they're doing. So I guess for the most part, I don't really actually get a lot of new Bitmojis. And for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, Bitmojis is through Snapchat, and you have to install the app on your phone. It's completely free, and you can design sort of an alter ego character of yourself. So you can say, oh, I want it to have curly hair, and I want it to have glasses or not have glasses, and I want it to have this colored clothing. So you can kind of get it to be as close to you as possible, your age, your coloring, your hair coloring, every single thing like this. And then from then on in, you have this one character. And at Thanksgiving, there's like 5 different Bitmojis for Thanksgiving, and there's things for like email and all these different things. You can type these. And I went to town when I first got this, and I downloaded all of my different saves onto my computer, because you set it up on your phone, but then you can go into the Chrome extension of Bitmoji and use it on your computer. And I downloaded tons of these. And so I have them all sorted. So I'm kind of like Jeff. I put things in folders. So it's like I have a Bitmoji for, garbage can. So I called it garbage can, and it's like Bitmoji Jillian throwing stuff in the trash can. So I have all those different things. So I'm glad I have those now in that, because if the Bitmojis are changing, I would not want to change my Bitmoji Jillian. She's too precious to me.
Yeah, I have a lot of them saved too, that, I've been collecting them, and I have a folder for them as well. But, I just was looking for something that I could not find. And so I was sort of forced to go up there and do it. And so, I don't know. And I guess the one person I think who is most known for using the Bitmojis, I think, is John Asperian, because He uses Bitmoji John kind of everywhere. And, when I think of them, he's the person I think of and identify most as being a Bitmoji user.
Yes. And what I would like to do is, for anybody who's listening today or even on the replay, John has actually created a really good, I believe it's a blog post and a video where he walks you through how to do Bitmojis. So I'll go ahead and put that link in the comments afterwards, so that if somebody's like, wow, this sounds kind of interesting, and know that this is 100% free. And you can take these outside of LinkedIn. So you can use these in your PowerPoints. You can use them. I like to use them when I'm designing PDFs and maybe we call them sliders, but PDFs, and I use them in my presentations. I put them, it can make a really boring topic seem kind of exciting by having, a little person kind of going question and answer time, all these different things. The only caveat with using Bitmojis is you cannot use them for anything that you would charge. So it has to be in free things. So if you do a book or you do a course, you can't put the Bitmojis in those because you could get sued. So that's something that John Asperian took to Bitmoji for us, because when he was doing Content DNA, he wanted to be able to use it in the book because Bitmoji John is so well known. But anyways, he couldn't. So there's no exception to that. You can't even pay a licensing fee. They just say, no, you can't do it. But I will link to his tutorial for anybody that's interested on how do I create Bitmojis, and then what do I do with them once I've created my character. And just know the sky's the limit. You can put those Bitmojis anywhere.
Oh, yes. And thank you for mentioning that. I was thinking of that too. I know that you, because I was talking about them in a presentation I did not too long ago. And that is the caveat that you cannot put them on anything that you're selling. So I love to use them in presentations too. And I use them in my sliders, or for somebody who may think people are often call them carousels, the ones that you see, the graphics that you slide, go from slide to slide to slide. And, I love them. And I love my old former one. I'm not so keen on the newer one. So I will have to play around with that. And I'd be curious. You have to ask John about that and let me know what he says, because I'm certain that he must have, because he uses them so often, that he might, have some new ones, or if not, would definitely, I'm sure, want to go in and check it out. So I find it dismaying. I was so cute and cuddly, and now I'm kind of like, Peppermint Patty and Peanuts, and I'm not liking that much. Easy for you to laugh.
I know. I'm sorry. It does look different. It does look different. So I'm hoping that maybe, I don't know, they'll reset you back. Maybe you have to talk to the Bitmoji people, appease the Bitmoji gods.
Jim, I thought I saw you on mute. Did you want to join in?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I've ever used Bitmojis. In fact, I don't even know what they are. What are they?
Well, yeah. Hey, you've seen my Bitmoji, Jillian, my little cartoon Jillian. She's in all of my graphics. She's
Now I know. Now I wanted to try and create my own. I wanted something really personal. I did look at those for a while, and I mean, you've got various options on various social media platforms, but I wanted something that was, I don't know, I wanted a cat doctor type of thing. Is there a way of creating your own and publishing it? I can never find a way of doing that.
There's a couple of apps that you can use to create different things, and I don't know if you just kind of look under like cartoon profiles or avatar. You do that as a search, and you might find some. Most of them are not free. That's the only caveat. So many of them are not free. So that's. And if Momita Das Roy, she uses something through her phone, and it's more lifelike than the cartoon one that Annette and I use. So you might want to check hers out, because that's a little bit of a different look.
Well, the other thing I was struggling with, my partner in crime, Mark, that does the content stuff with me. He's really, I mean, he's really good at creating like cartoon characters and stuff like that. And he's created quite a few, various scared cat things and doctor things. And what I'd really want to do would to try it and take one of those and convert it, but I could never work out how to. Actually, when you're on your phone, yeah. I mean, I think on my phone, when I respond to somebody, I mean, I can choose like one of these Bitmoji thingies, and I can post it from there. But I've never been able to work out how I could put something in so it was just on my phone, so I could go, all right, I'll post it, and it was something that I created. But so I don't even know if that's possible.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh well, never mind, eh?
So are you talking to getting stuff from your computer to your phone? Is that what you're talking about?
So it's no. So I can do so. So I've got a whole collection of like various cartoons. I mean, I was doing those, what are they called, those infographic things for a while, and I was doing Doctor and Cat. And I've got a whole collection of various cartoon characters that Mark created for me, and that's great. So if I want to, I don't know, say do a post and I want to do a visual or graphic, then yeah, I could drop one of those in. But with the Bitmojis, the way I understood they worked is they're part of your phone. So say you're doing a message to somebody. So you do a message to someone, you type it out, and then you find your Bitmoji, you press it, and it becomes part of your message. Yeah. Whereas
Right.
with the like the graphics that we've created, then you'd have to post that, unless I'm missing something. You'd have to post that as a separate image. Now on Facebook, that can be a real bind sometimes, because trying to connect the two can be a bit challenging to say the least. So yeah, that was it really.
Yeah, it can, unless are you using an iPhone or Android, Jim?
I'm iPhone. Oh, I'm a Mac boy.
iPhone.
I'm a Mac fanboy. Oh, you can get me on
Okay.
any other stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the only thing is that you can, I have actually used my Bitmojis in CapCut, and I use that for my editing on my iPhone. And what I did was, in order to do that, I went ahead and I saved the Bitmojis as photos in like and I made an album. I made an album on my iPhone, and I keep my Bitmojis in there. And then I was able to just go in and add it as an image, and that was easy enough. And I think you could do that as a message. You just have to make sure you have a folder with all of them there on your iPhone.
That's interesting. I love CapCut. I absolutely love CapCut. Are you on the paid version of CapCut, or are you on the free?
No, I do free everything. So no, I'm on the free version of CapCut. And the nice thing about Bitmojis is that they're PNG files, and we haven't talked about this, folks, but PNG files are usually have the ability to have a transparent background. So if you have a picture of a person, you don't get the white, in the background or something like that, which allows you to bring a Bitmoji into a program like Canva, and you can pop it into your design, and it kind of like sits on the top as a top layer. But if anything's a JPEG versus a PNG, it doesn't have transparency. So that's just another thing to know about when you're working with graphics. There's different things for JPEGs versus PNG. So if you ever want something transparent, it has to be a PNG.
Well, thanks so much for adding that in, Jillian. Felipe just came back up on the stage, so I have a feeling he may want to answer some of our questions.
Well, and I don't know if these will be the answers you're looking for, but if I understood Jim's question, I when I started playing around with Bitmoji, I downloaded the Bitmoji app, and when I did that, it synced with my keyboard. So when I hit I have like an English keyboard, I have a Spanish keyboard, and then the third keyboard is the Bitmoji keyboard. And it's actually a keyboard. It just gives you all the Bitmoji images. And what's nice about that is that you can add those from the keyboard in your notes, in your posts, in your text, and you can just pull from them automatically right there. And you can save them there into your photo album as well. So I don't know if that would help you, Jim, but I'm a Mac person too. And once I added it to my keyboard, you hit the little world icon button on your keyboard, and it will give you the option for Bitmojis.
Excellent. I'll try that. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that comment was worth its weight in gold. I'm off to do this afterwards. This is so cool. Thank you.
Struggling to unmute. So thank you so much. And I had no idea about all those different keyboards. So I am learning so much today. So we are almost at the end here, and I just want to mention that Jillian and I will be back for our final of 2023 Media Mavens Talk in December, and I have it as December 20th, Jillian, is that correct?
Sounds good to me.
Okay,
Sounds good to me.
And we did actually switch this one because of Thanksgiving last week. For some reason, I did not realize it was Thanksgiving when we were first talking about the date. So we will be back, Wednesday, December 20th, same time, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern, and we will be, I'm hoping, planning some dates for 2024, right, Jillian?
Yeah, this is very fun. And, the nice thing about this is, normally both Annette and I do LinkedIn Lives, and LinkedIn Lives are wonderful. We both absolutely love doing our LinkedIn Lives, but this is just a different way to have more of a community feel and for people to just hop on, have this conversation. So I hope everybody will continue to be a part of this and just come when the topic suits you, come when the time suits you. And it's just a great way for us to all continue to be connected with each other, because sometimes you do a live and it's you and everybody else is out in the audience, doesn't have that same community feel as a LinkedIn audio. I would never give up my lives, but I love doing this once a month with Annette, and she's a fabulous host with the most.
Well, we are co-hosts with the most, Jillian. So we are right now just a few minutes from the end of our show or event or audio event today. And I have learned a ton here. Jillian, is there anything, because I don't have anything to add to the conversation.
I do.
Go ahead.
I have one more thing to add
Cool.
in that people might want to check out, and I know he's been on my show and your show, Frank Prendergast, and he does a lot with graphics and AI, and that is something we have not even talked about today. And it's something that I really personally can't talk about because I don't know stuff about how graphics work with AI. But he talks about a program called Dolly and Runway, and there's many, many programs out there where you can type things in and it will make those images for you. I've tried some of it in Canva. It got a little weird, but I could actually say, make a picture of dogs playing poker as they're driving down the highway or something like that. And I typed it in, and then Canva made the images. And it's like, if I didn't like it, it would do more. So just makes people realize that with the introduction of AI, you can kind of go and do some amazing things. Canva's very rudimentary, but it might be a really fun and easy place to start. And then maybe follow Frank and see what he's doing, because he is looking at it as like a master level. And I know when they did the amazing marketing book a couple of months ago, when that book came out that many of us know about, they did the cover with AI, and that was all Frank, taking the helm with that. So just wanted to put that shout out that graphics for using AI is just a whole other topic we can talk about one day.
Well, I absolutely love that. And I'm so glad you mentioned Frank. I love him. He was recently on my show. He's coming back on my new show in January to talk about using AI in content creation. And yes, he is kind of someone, like you, Jillian, curious and started getting into this stuff. And he's becoming more and more known for it. And I'm so happy. And I learned so much from him when he was on my show. And I'm so excited to have him come back. So thank you, everyone, for being here with us. We're so happy to have this conversation. We can sit up here and chit chat for hours. We're friends, but it's always so much more fun for us when, you all come up and join us on the stage. And as Jillian said, You know, we do this because we love it. We love it for the conversation in the community. So we are at 1 minute until the end of our live. And again, thank you so much to everyone who's been here. We will get this audio up as quickly as we can tomorrow for sure. And you will be able to listen to it. And we do have links in all of our other posts. And Jillian and I have been talking about a place maybe to put links to the various audios. So she and I will continue that discussion. So thank you, everyone, for being here, and have a great rest of your day. And we will see you in a few weeks. Bye now.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Nice to see you.
Bye.